welcome back to my channel Endless Pages. I'm Liv and today's video is going to be my first book haul of 2022. I've been surprisingly okay with my book spending so far this year. I only have 6 books to talk about so far, but that's definitely going to change as the year goes on. There'll be plenty more book hauls to come. Firstly, I got the 3rd book in the Montego siblings series, and that is The Nobleman's Guide to Scandal and Shipwreck by Mackenzie Lee. This is a historical fiction, young adult LGBT book. Basically, the first book is called A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, and that is about a guy called Monty, and Monty is going on this thing called a grand tour around Europe, where when he gets back he's set to take over his father's estate, but his father does not like him. He does not like his father. Monty is known for getting into trouble, gambling, drinking, sex with guys and girls. So when he goes on this trip around Europe, he is going with his sister Felicity and his best friend Percy, and Percy, he is kind of in love with Percy. And in typical Monty fashion, he gets into trouble and it kind of takes the grand tour around Europe on a new path where they end up getting into a lot of trouble and a lot of fun. So that's all the first book is about, I should say. The second book is about the second Montego sibling, his sister Felicity, which I didn't like as much, to be honest, so I'm hoping the 3rd book, which is about the youngest Montego sibling, I will like a little bit better. It does sound really good. I can't tell you too much because spoilers, but that's basically what the series is about, and I'm very excited to have my hands on this. Next up is a book I don't know that much about, so I don't know how good I'm going to be at describing the plot. I am working my way through Neil Gaiman's books. I read Stardust last year and really loved it, so I picked up Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman, and one of my favourites, Becca from Bewitched Bex, just read this book and said she really enjoyed it, so that's a good sign. Basically, I think our main character Richard helps this girl who is bleeding in the street and then discovers there's this thing called London Below, which is a city of people who have fallen between the cracks, and it's filled with all these strange and wonderful creatures. That's literally all I know about this book, but I'm intrigued, and it's Neil Gaiman, so it's got to be good, right? Next up is a book that I know is very, very loved, and that is Cry's War by Nina Varela. This is a queer romance, and we follow this world where there's a war, and the war is kind of between humans and these, I think they're meant to be like a race called Autome, and Autome are usually they're described as the playthings of the royals. And basically they win the war and bend the human race to their will. And then we follow Ayla, who is a human servant rising in the ranks of the House of the Sovereign, and she has dreams of revenge, of killing the Sovereign's daughter, Lady Cryer. And Cryer is beautiful and flawless and is meant to take over the rule of her father. But that was before she was betrothed to someone who seems to have many secrets, and learns that her father is not as benevolent as she first thought. And then she meets a liar as well. So I think this is about love, loss and revenge, and grapples what it really means to be human. So I see lots and lots of people being obsessed with this duology, so I'm finally going to be able to read it. I'm so happy. Next up is a very chunky read, and that is The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. This is the first book in the Wheel of Time fantasy series. I picked this up because I watched the TV show and absolutely loved it, so I wanted to read the book itself. This is about a boy called Rand, and Rand's village one day is attacked by these terrifying creatures, and him and his friends have to flee for their lives. And there's an ancient evil stirring, and its servants are trying to find a person called the Dragon Reborn, who is said, he's like a prophesized hero who's said to bring about bring the world out of darkness. So yeah, that's that. And I was obsessed with the show, like absolutely loved it. It was totally my kind of thing. I hope that I love the original and haven't ruined it by watching the TV show first. So I'm dumb and picked up The Women of Troy not knowing it was a sequel. It's by Pat Baker. It's like Greek mythology, but from female, The Women of Troy. I am very mad that I didn't realise, because I've been wanting to read The Silence of Girls, but I haven't been able to find it in bookstores anywhere. I might have to go online, which is annoying. So I didn't realise that this was a sequel, so Can't really tell you about it, but yeah, I think it's just Greek mythology about Helen, Amina, and Cassandra, and Briseis. Yeah. I'm silly. I didn't realise it was a sequel. I really want to read The Silence of the Girls though, so yeah. The last book I got is actually a combo. It's 2 books in one, and that is Once and Then by Maurice Gleesman. He's an Aussie author, and I remember reading this book when I was young. It's a middle grade series, and I remember really loving it, and I think last year he put out another book in this series, so I wanted to reread it so I could read the latest book. This is a historical fiction book, middle grade, which I think I already said. I can't remember much about this book. I know it's set in like Poland during the Nazi time, and it's about our main character who wants to break out of this orphanage to save his Jewish parents from the Nazis, and he also meets a girl called Zelda who he saves from the fire. That's all I can remember, and I really like this cover, so I got this cover because I thought it was prettier than the other ones, and 2 books in one, so saved a bit of money as well. I'm excited to get back into this book and relive it. So that was the first of many book hauls in 2022. Let me know in the comments, have you read any of the books that I talked about today? And what were the first books that you purchased this year? I'd love to know. All of my social media links are in the description below. If you like this video, I would very much appreciate it if you gave it a like, and if you'd like to subscribe, that would be great, so then you can never miss out when I post a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in whatever I post next. Bye!